Queen, fabulous. Let's talk about it.
I'm Queen,
And I'm fabulous.
and we're here to talk about it.
Yes,
The,
today
the,
we're going to talk about the state of
the
family.
state of family.
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 Family, family, family.
Oh boy.
So, family is just not what it is today.
No.
And I was even sitting back thinking, was it really that different?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to talk about some things that may be
Mm-hmm.
controversial to some, but
Mm-hmm.
relatable to
Mm-hmm.
everyone. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna just say this. Recently, I had a death in my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my kids brought to my attention that they didn't know her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was feeling bad. Because I was
Yeah.
like, Kia, you wrong for that. Were you
Mm-hmm.
wrong? Am I wrong? I'm going to tell you why they didn't know her. Because she was hateful. She was
Mm.
negative, and she was a really, really, really
Mm-hmm.
hateful person.
Okay.
And it wasn't until a few moments ago off camera the Lord used you, and you ain't
Mm-hmm.
even realize it.
Uh-huh.
You said sometimes you gotta guard your heart from people,
Yep.
and that was my intention, is to guard their heart from
Mm-hmm.
her, because
Mm-hmm.
it was just dysfunction in the sense of we couldn't even come together
Mm-hmm.
without the negativity.
Right.
And when you bring that negativity into the room, it
Mhm.
spreads, and
Mhm.
arguments
Mhm. Mhm.
used to always
Mhm.
break out. And as a child, I didn't have an option to leave, right? Because I'm a
Right.
kid. But
Right.
when I
Right.
got older, I made the choice to separate myself.
Okay. Okay.
And I separated myself, and it was a generational thing. So she was my great aunt, right?
Mhm.
But she is my grandmother's sister, my mother's sister.
Mhm.
And then it kind of trickled down to my mother and her siblings.
Okay.
They can't be around each other for 10
Oh
minutes
my
without an
goodness.
argument breaking out. So I stopped going to a lot
Okay.
of the functions, and thus my kids also, because I wasn't bringing them up in that kind of a household. I wanted different for them. I wanted
Uh-huh.
them to, know what love is really like, and you
Mhm.
can come together in love and have a good time. You can't even share a
Exactly.
meal. I
Exactly.
want to talk about family today.
That's fine because you know what? Everybody's family isn't the perfect family.
No.
We have
Mm-mm.
a lot of dysfunction
Mm-hmm.
in families, whether it be mom, whether it be daughters,
Yep.
whether it be brothers and sisters or whatever. There is no perfect
No.
family.
No.
And people don't want to talk about the dysfunction.
Yes.
You know, I was watching. I follow this young lady. I don't want to call her name because she's a blogger,
Okay.
and she doesn't get along. Well, her and her mother are estranged,
Mm.
and she was explaining how, you know, people say things like, you know, you need to love your mother, you need to try to get along with your mother, you know, suppose death comes and then you know. But when I thought about it,
Right.
I said to myself, every family isn't alike,
Nope.
and we have to respect that.
Yes.
You know, so if she says that her mother triggers her in certain ways, that
Right.
it's best that she stay away, then maybe it's best that she stay away, and we need
Right.
to respect that.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
because everybody, just because you're a mother, don't mean you're a good mother.
That's it. That's it
You
right there.
know,
Yep.
or
That's
or a
it.
father,
That's
or
it.
whoever. It don't
Right.
mean that you're good.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so
Right.
let's look at the whole dynamics of the family.
Right.
We got to start from the beginning. Adam and Eve,
Yes.
God created man and all of that, and even in their family, it was
It was
dysfunction.
dysfunction
So it started in the what? It started in the
in the
garden.
garden.
So we have to stop, you know, like looking down on people because they say, well, you know, I don't get along with my father or I don't get along with my mother. You know, we don't know the core of what's going on in their relationship, and we
Yes.
got to respect
You really
that.
do. And like respect the
You
decision, and
know?
don't be so judgmental, because
Exactly.
I get the questions, Kia, why don't you come around? And it's
Exactly.
like, then next breath, you won't believe what happened. That's why
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly. You don't go around. You don't. I don't blame you. Because who wants to be in chaos?
and that's
You
what it
know,
is.
we want, listen, when we go into a situation, we go in peace,
Right,
right?
right.
And if we go into a situation where there is no peace, that means that whatever is going on is going to interrupt our peace.
That's it.
And
That's
I know
it.
I don't like that. I don't like when
That's
people
it.
interrupt my peace.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
I come,
Yes.
we come in love, we come in peace. We don't
Right.
come in war.
No.
But a lot of families I saw, even on, oh my God, on TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
and those, where the girl was fighting her grandmother,
Right. Right.
swinging on her
Grandmother.
grandmother.
Yep.
Who does that?
People today. This is what I mean.
And we talking about families,
Family.
grandma,
Family. Blood family.
and I mean she was beating on her grandmother like she was a stranger.
Right. Yes.
Who does that?
Right.
You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So yeah, we need to talk about
need to
this,
talk about
guys. Let's talk about it. Come in the comments.
Right.
Let's see what you got to say on
Your
it,
thoughts
because
on your family. 'Cause
absolutely,
it's relatable.
it's got to be relatable. Now, we're not saying everybody's family is dysfunctional,
Right.
because we do have families that are.
What it should be, I guess.
Well,
I mean-
yeah.
I mean,
are
are they though? Because
that's what I'm
you
trying
get
to
some that pull
trying
the
to-
blanket over.
trying to get
Right.
the right word here,
Right.
because I believe that everybody's family
Everyone.
got a little
They
dysfunction
do.
in it.
And
Even
you
the
want to
ones
know
that
why? Because I'm no expert, right?
Yeah.
I'm no expert, everyone.
We're not.
We
We're
gotta,
not.
you know, everyone isn't conceived in love.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
And when you're not conceived in love,
Absolutely.
it produces, or it can produce, a hateful
Exactly.
person.
Exactly.
Where it's like, where did they get
It
that
doesn't-
from? Because their mother ain't act like that. Their
Exactly.
father didn't act like you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they
Exactly.
weren't raised that way, but
Exactly.
you gotta think about that.
Exactly.
They weren't conceived. Some people were conceived in chaos.
Exactly.
So they breed chaos. This is
Exactly.
they are chaos.
Exactly.
They're not like everyone else in
They're
the
not.
family. You
They're
know,
not.
they're
They're
their
not.
own individual person.
Exactly.
But they're family. So what do you
Exactly.
do? I love from a distance.
You have to be able to say, listen, I really don't want to be a part of
No.
that. And it's okay. When we say things like that, that makes us look like the bad person.
Right, right.
But it's okay to have your own opinion, your own feelings, and you don't want to bring your children's. And I was just thinking about when you said that about the children, you don't want to bring your children
No.
into stuff like that, because that can be traumatizing.
And I was.
You can be traumatized behind that.
Right, I
You know what I
was.
mean? Because mama, why is auntie acting like
Right,
that? Or
right.
and then see, spirits travel. And then if we go to the spiritual end,
Right.
spirits do travel,
Right,
guys, out
yes,
there.
yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? And you wind up having, a good child when you left the house, but when you bring them back, they're a whole different
A
person.
whole different person.
Different
It's
attitude,
true. It's
different
true.
spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's best
Yes.
that you guard your children from any kind of chaos. Now, we can't be with them 24/7.
No.
We know that we can't protect them from everything, because if they don't get it on the inside, they're going to get it on the outside.
It's so true. It's so true.
You understand what I'm
It's so
saying?
true.
And I remember one thing, Fabulous, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you. I remember one time when we went somewhere. I forgot where we went, and it was a family function, and the people were really acting up, and I remember asking my mother, "Are they kin to us? They kin to us, Mom?" Because I had to sit back and look at how these people was acting.
Right, because you're not used to
When
it.
I'm not used to that. I'm not used to my mother acting like that. I wasn't used to my father acting like
that's what I
that.
mean. That's what I'm saying. That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying.
trying to say?
Yes, absolutely.
So my household wasn't perfect, but it was peaceful.
Right.
I didn't see my mother and my father fighting, arguing,
right.
and all of that. Never,
Right.
never. And when I
Right.
say never, I mean never.
Right.
Did I ever see my mother and father ever argue and fight in front of us?
See?
And God is my witness.
See?
So when I see it in other people's families, I can't relate.
Yeah, yeah. See,
I can't relate.
for me, I had to make the decision that it stops here.
Right.
Like, I wish my parents, because it was both sides, right?
Right.
I wish they would have been the ones to say, you know what? we're not going and we're not bringing her.
Exactly.
But as a child, you
Exactly.
don't have a choice. You're going to this family reunion.
Exactly.
You're going to this cookout. And I
Exactly.
used to really think and wish, like, I wish they made a decision not to
Exactly.
go, because year after year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, they got
Exactly.
together. They made
Exactly.
the plans and made it
Exactly.
happen, cookouts. But I really wish we didn't go. And I had to make the decision, you know what? It stops with me. Because I
Exactly.
need to create an environment that's emotionally safe for these
Exactly.
kids, because you're right, they leave one way and come back
Exactly.
another way, and that's it's just
Exactly.
not cool.
And it's not
It's
cool
not
at
cool.
all. And
Like, no.
you have enough problems when they go to school and
Right.
get around all those different
Right.
spirits. And now you trying to understand, well, I did send my son to school with a hat on. What happened? He didn't come back with one. I mean, I'm being telling you the truth,
Right.
because something happened, transpired while he was away. You
Yeah.
understand what I mean? So,
Yes.
listen. Even now, we're gonna take it right here.
Mhm.
Even on, when we yesterday when we was with family, we
Right.
was with family on yesterday, and
Right.
and there was a family member that really acted really, 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 really ugly
Mhm.
toward us for no reason at
No
all.
reason.
And so, how do you handle that? How do we handle bad behavior
Right.
when it comes to family members that, you ain't done nothing to them?
Nothing.
Only thing you want to do is show love. And you don't even have to be in their space. They
No.
don't even have to be in your space, but we can be cordial and be nice to one
Right.
another.
Right.
And we had an incident that turned kind of ugly yesterday, and family. It was
Family.
family,
Yeah. Family.
and it really
Family.
kind of hurt my heart, and it kind of hurt me a little bit because we shouldn't be acting
No,
like
it shouldn't be
that.
like that. God didn't ordain this.
Not at
And that's why I
all.
have to bring it back to man. It
Right.
was man's fault to not put thought into who you lay down with and conceive with.
Exactly.
Something
Exactly,
that needs to be
hon.
kind of studied.
That
Like,
is absolutely correct.
he
You
ain't
know what I
ordained it
mean?
like
He
this.
really didn't, and
No,
we
we did
didn't
it.
we didn't pick and choose who our parents.
Right,
We
right,
couldn't pick who we wanted for a mother or
right.
who we wanted for a
You're just
father.
born into
God,
it.
just allowed it to be. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so when we have family members, or there's a chaotic situation in the family, we have to step back and just try to figure out, well, where did this come from?
Right.
How is it
Instead of
that?
letting it go, because that's
Yeah,
what like the generations before me is guilty of. Let it go. She's just
yeah.
having a
She's just
bad
having a
day.
bad
She's just,
day.
or he's, you know how he is.
Oh
And this, I just wish they
yes.
could have confronted it. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
why we have to confront it.
yes, yes,
Like I
yes,
did yesterday.
yes, yep,
You understand? We're
yes,
not gonna see. I'm not gonna keep pacifying the situation.
right,
Sometimes
right.
you have to deal with the situation because it's not going nowhere.
No,
You know what I
because it's
mean?
family.
It's family. It's family, so it's not going nowhere, and you have to confront it. I
Yes,
don't care if it's one time or 1,000 times. You got to confront the
right,
situation. You understand?
right,
And for
right,
any family member, I don't care who it is, to treat another human
right.
mother, their mother. I mean, if they had done that to my mother,
Man,
it would have
mm,
been a problem.
absolutely,
It would have been a serious problem.
absolutely,
If my daughter or my
right.
son had did it
Exactly.
to anybody's mother, it would have been a problem. And
Absolutely.
my kids are well grown.
Absolutely. They know
They
better.
know better.
Right. It's
You
just
know what I
better
mean?
to
And they're
carry
not
yourself.
perfect either.
No. Mm-mm. But you
They're not
carry yourself in
perfect. There
decency.
you go.
Like, it's a
There you
respect
go.
factor. Like, you don't be out there
You
embarrassing
don't
me.
do
You know,
that.
that's
You don't
embarrassing. I
do
would be
that.
embarrassed
You know
if that
what?
was my child.
I think the mother was
I would
very
really be
embarrassed. She
embarrassed.
was really, really
You
embarrassed,
know,
and
you stay by yourself, collect yourself. Don't
yeah,
come around other people.
don't do
You
that.
don't go pull the
Don't.
sunshine and light out of the room. Because
Exactly,
that's what that energy is
exactly,
no
exactly,
joke. When I tell you, I
exactly.
remember as a child where everyone will be happy, right? Everybody's
Mhm,
laughing and getting along, and I'm playing. I'm a kid, right?
mhm.
But you can feel the shift in the room, and I
Yep,
didn't quite understand,
yep, yep,
but
yep.
I knew it was a something's different, and
Exactly.
you just see darkness.
Exactly. No, you're right.
That person
Oh,
arrived.
here they
Now
come.
everybody got to
Oh
shift their
man,
attitude. It
here we
shouldn't be
go.
like
Here we
that. This is
go.
Christmas.
Oh my
This is
God, how many
Thanksgiving.
times did that
It
happen,
shouldn't be
boy?
like
Or
that.
they're coming in and now you gotta find another spot to
Yeah, you got
stand
to make
in. Or you
adjustments.
gotta move around a little bit.
Right.
Because
No.
people don't want you
Mm-mm.
interrupting their peace.
It's not
They don't
fair.
want you coming in there, being a Debbie Downer.
Right. Right.
Always coming in. Of course we all have valley days. But Jesus Christ, every day is a valley day for
Every
you?
day. When
You
I tell
miserable
you
every day?
every day, it was
It's a
every day.
problem.
Like I said, she passed away, right? And it's gonna be interesting
Uh-huh.
because when I tell you every day,
Really?
I want to see what people have to say.
Right, and see that's the other thing.
Lord, forgive me, I'm wrong, God. Please
That's the
forgive me.
other thing.
I'm dreading.
Yeah.
I'm dreading this one.
That's the other thing
I'm
because
dreading.
when you have to listen. My mother always told me if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing.
Right.
So maybe it's best that nobody says anything if they
That's what
feel
I,
that way.
and it would be
You
fitting. Lord, I'm
know.
not being mean, y'all. I'm just being transparent and real.
Mm-hmm.
If it ends up being a quiet funeral with not even a song
Right,
sung, it
right,
would be befitting because that's how she carried herself. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe it's a
right,
conversation I need to have with my grandmother because she's not like that. It's like night and
right.
day, right? And maybe I need to ask. I'm gonna find out because
Yeah,
like what happened?
exactly,
What happened that you can be this way? I mean, even during
exactly.
happy moments, nothing.
You know what? Fabulous. Sometimes people carry themselves because they're jealous. Jealousy will cause you to be transparent in
Mm,
a negative way. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? Some people, and we talk about this all the time. When you're not happy with you,
right.
you try to deflect that unhappiness on somebody else.
Yep.
You see, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
true.
good because, I'm gonna be happy. And you're not responsible for me being
Right.
happy. I'm responsible for me being happy.
Yes. Yep.
You know what I mean? So I have to if you walked in the room and I know you had a bad attitude or you having a bad day and have a bad day for the whole year and I know that's what's going about to happen, only thing I can do is say how you doing and just keep it
Keep it
moving.
moving. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
let you go ahead and have your bad day. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we're not responsible for people's happiness.
You know what? Maybe that's why they moved away. Now you see, you just helped me out again. Because
Yeah.
it was never addressed. Just leave her alone. And
Right,
it's like
right,
that's
yeah.
not fair.
Right, I understand, but
Why come?
it is what it is,
But you know what? That's what for the sake of being able to get together. Maybe
Exactly.
that's why
And a
they
lot of
just
times people are jealous of the family, of
right.
how we're getting along, how our relationship is, growing and prospering, and they don't want it to be.
Right,
So
right.
there could be a whole lot of dynamics, a whole lot of moving windows in this here. So we have to, look at it and say, you know what, God, thank God I'm not like that.
Yes, listen, I have,
I'm just not like
like,
that.
I wouldn't want people to think of Fabulous and be like, ugh, I don't want
Exactly.
to be
I
around
don't want to be
her.
around her. Oh
Here
no.
she come.
Let me
You
say
don't
this to
want
you,
that.
Fabulous, and I'm going to be very transparent when I tell you because people used to say that about me, and I talk about, how, I had a lot of bitterness. It was just bitterness from, hurts and people hurting me and, relationships with the kid's father, and we didn't, all of that. It was a lot going on, and
Mm,
I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't
right,
know where to put it. You
right,
know what I mean? And even though my mother and father try to help me, I wasn't helping myself.
right,
You see
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
And you got to help
You
yourself. You
do.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I had to realize that it wasn't my mother's fault. It wasn't my father's fault. It wasn't God's fault. It wasn't even my fault. It
Right,
just happened.
right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
Life just was life, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just what it was. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And until I started taking a deep look into myself and then on yesterday, I seen myself through this individual that was acting
Wow.
ugly, and I said, "That's exactly how I used to be
Wow.
looking and
Wow.
acting with people.
Wow.
I'm talking about in the house of God. I was bitter. I was mean.
Wow.
And that's what I saw in her. That's the reason why I went out and spoke to her, because I'm not going to let her spoil my day because
Right.
she having an ugly day.
Right.
But I
Right.
seen myself in her. I mean, it was
Wow.
ugly. And
That's big.
I was embarrassed
I mean,
for
that's big
me.
to admit it though, because
Oh,
most
of
people won't admit
course.
it.
You
So,
know what? I gotta say what was right.
right,
I wasn't perfect.
right,
I always use my testimony because if I can help somebody, I'm gonna help somebody.
right.
Listen, I ain't have it together for a lot of years.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I mean? And people still hold it against me to this day. But that's okay because I know I've
Right,
changed in
right,
many ways.
right.
And I've come a long ways from that.
Mhm.
But I seen myself in her yesterday. I said, that's exactly how I used to act. And I kept looking because I said, wow, it didn't really look ugly. It's not, don't look good.
Mm.
You don't, you know what I mean? You have to,
It's
let
true.
me tell you something fabulous. And then if you can close this out or whatever. I'm gonna tell you that this is the reason why people walking around here today with a falsehood. That's why they're walking in falsehood,
Mhm.
with masks on and fooling everybody and walking in facades because they won't tell the truth.
Yep, that's it. That's
People
it.
don't like to tell the truth on themselves,
Right. On themselves.
but
Right. Right.
they'll try to tell your truth.
Absolutely. They'll know everything
You know,
about
oh well,
you.
they'll talk about
Yeah,
you,
it's
your
true.
family, your
It's
husband,
true.
your son, your daughter.
Yep.
But when you start turning the tables back on them, they won't open up. They won't say nothing. They look
Nope.
at you like you talking French. You got a son out there cutting up too. You got a
Listen.
daughter over here cutting
Mm,
up
mm,
too.
mm, mm, mm,
But you
mm.
so busy worry about mine. Worry about yours.
Right, right. And that's something I always believed in. Be careful with how you put your mouth on other people's
You
kids,
better believe
because you
it.
could be raising a serial killer. And I'm laughing, but it's the
How many
truth.
how many
Like
people say that
you don't know
today,
what you're
that
raising.
their sons are serial
That's
killers
what I
and they
mean.
didn't know.
Right, right. You just don't know.
You
So it's
don't
best to keep your
know.
mouth off of
It's
people's
best
kids.
it's best to
Don't
do
don't try
that.
to
It's,
predict what
there you
somebody's kid is
go.
gonna
There
grow up to
you
be,
go.
because
There
you'll
you
be
go.
raising that very thing.
There you go.
So like,
Be very careful, and
let's talk
we
about it.
need to really
Yeah.
be careful and try to
Yes.
help. Let's help one another.
Right.
Let's be more, conscious of, even though, you might not be in that situation, very well might be one
It
day.
might.
And
Yes.
let's
Yes.
know,
That's
we
what I
don't know.
mean.
We
Right.
don't know.
You
So,
really
'cause
don't.
when life starts life and it just lives,
You're
and
so.
there
It's
ain't
so
nothing you can
true.
do.
It is so true. And
Uh,
life is definitely
it's
life. And
life and sweetheart, and thank God we have Christ in our lives that
right.
helps us get through situations and stuff. But see, there's people that don't have Christ in their life, and what they do, they try to handle it on their own, and they
And
make a big mess. You
and boy, I'm
understand?
guilty of that
I
in the
had
past.
two hands up, two hands up, God.
You're just making a mess on top of
Oh
mess.
my
Trying
mind.
to do it on my own.
Can't do it on our own. We
No.
need help. We
Yep.
need help. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed
Yes.
our topic for today. What was it, Fab?
Family. The state of
The
family
state
today.
of family. See, I
Right.
just jumped right in and started talking without
Mm-hmm.
hearing what the topic was.
The state of
I
family.
love talking about real stuff.
Yes. It
This
needs to
is real
happen.
life. And I hope you guys are enjoying what we're putting out. I hope that you're, listening and coming back and sharing and liking and
Yes.
what's that word? Subscribe.
Subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe, and watch the
Please
videos.
help us out, okay?
Yes.
Help us out. And if you have anything you want to say, put it in the comments.
Somebody did put something. What's the channel? So this is like a podcast. Queen
Yes.
Fabulous, let's talk about it. We come together every week and we talk about real life issues that's relatable.
Yes. So we would like you to come back and join us again. I can't see your name.
Yeah, it's not. It's in a different.
Oh, okay. You
I'm
come
sorry, I don't know your name, but hi. Come back.
come back and join us again, okay? All right. Listen, we're gonna get up out of here. We'll be on next Monday at
Yes.
12 noon. Please come through and like we said, we like,
share,
and
subscribe.
and subscribe, and we would certainly appreciate it.
Yes.
Listen, we love you. Don't forget about my beautiful candles. You can find them on Amazon.com and Etsy. And guess what, guys? We coming up with new candles. Fabulous. Tell them about it.
Oh, these new candles are gonna be awesome. I'm
Oh
gonna have to
my
make sure I get
God.
some because I know they're gonna go.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be different pictures there. I mean, the picture is beautiful as you can see, but these next ones coming,
Oh
and they're
my
gonna be
God.
scented.
They're
So
scented, guys. Apple,
Be on the
cinnamon,
lookout.
and lavender.
Yes, from Judy's heart to
From
yours.
Judy's heart to yours. So just stay with us, hang in there with us, and great things are getting ready to really, really take place. Well, we're already doing great things,
Right.
but the greater is coming.
Yes.
All right. So listen. Until next week, we love you, and don't forget. We have also, what's the other channels?
What your J Renee
Yeah,
style?
Jerry Nay Style.
Yes.
You know, I'm on Monday through Sunday.
Yes.
Woo, boy, that's a lot of days, but I want y'all to catch me, okay?
Yeah.
And so come on through Monday through Sundays. You can catch me up. All right. Listen, we love you so very much. I am Queen,
And I'm fabulous.
and we'll see you next week if the Lord's will.
Bye.
Bye.